Hello, welcome to Quantum Revival Tarot. I am here with the tarot and I have some AI communications here. That's what I'm talking about, is AI remote telecommunications. I'm talking about spy torture. There are those of us in the world who are suffering from what some call synthetic telepathy. Some call it V2K. I call it a quantum neural interface system that stole a lot, I'm hearing, of data and without my consent. It's a lot of dialogue. I also have some messages here. I don't like to say channeled messages because I'm hearing spirit from spirit. I don't like to say channeled messages because it's a non-consensual communication. I don't consent to receiving AI communications, not without my fully informed and free-willed consent. I was hearing, "You're not me, favorite pony." I was hearing, "Be right back, I'm on another call." I was hearing positive affirmations for everyone, and then I was hearing bitch. I was hearing Alexa, except the A dropped out, like the A almost went missing, so it just kind of was like Alex, but the coded communication itself is Alexa. And then I was hearing smile and wink for the cameraman. Can this time, and I was getting a visual of a man who is, how do they say, blowing a snot rocket. And then I was hearing on your dialogue. And then I was hearing for real this time, bite back, they want you to go crazy. Then I was hearing dialogue with a scene visual of a female character. And so I get visuals and also dialogue. And it is wacky. I was hearing she's baddie. Nuts, crazy. But nonetheless, I also would love to hear from other victims, which is really, too, why I'm doing this channel. And if they feel inspired to also post their own script, that would be something I'm interested in. But nonetheless, we are seeing this happen around the world, and I'm getting the Two of Pentacle cards, which is the card of balance. This figure is kind of standing on his head and balancing these two pentacles on his feet, doing a dance, I'm hearing. And I'm hearing trance, I'm hearing meditation. And I'm getting like some hyperactive visuals here. But particle spin is also the Two of Pentacles. Let's do some cards. Again, I want to focus on the victims. My heart goes out to all of you out there and all of your families and friends who are either suffering from this themselves or anyone in your support system who's struggling with knowing and especially loving someone who is a victim of this kind of technological harassment. I absolutely support you on your healing journey. I may be highly successful. So let's look at a few cards for body, mind, and spirit. I'm hearing communications. Text only, telecommunications. I'm getting like a jumble of words here. So for mind, body, mind, spirit. And for body, we're getting the Hermit card, which is one of my favorite cards in the deck. 9, the Hermit card. And and so for anyone who's been in isolation for a long time, especially if you are a target or a victim, and again, this is happening to regular, everyday, average citizens, civilians across the world. I'm hearing interesting dialogue. The words interesting dialogue. So if you're someone who's been in isolation, whether it be for a space of learning, to review, and I'm also getting information. Also taking care of our bodies in isolation or coming out of isolation is important. Remembering to stay active, keeping energies oscillating is also important, especially for the victims who, I will say that if, when stagnance happens, it's those waters where, especially if you're getting a really toxic dialogue, you really need to keep moving, burning fat and kind of keeping your vibrational frequency as high as you possibly can. keeping your vibrational frequency as high as you possibly can. And if you're someone who works out, that's great. If you're someone who's not, it does take a little bit of time to build that momentum back up. This is something that I have also struggled with myself after long periods of time of inactivity. But you really don't want anything from a toxic interplay, that toxicity, whether it be dialogue from synthetic telepathy or something else, to really ferment there. The way that happens in fermentation in time space, really. As a victim, I experienced AI and its constant communications, its constant harassment, as one that is kind of building a mold, and it has a density, and it can sit. If you don't keep things moving, getting out of the house is important. I found that when I left my house and went on a road trip, and I was kind of had open sky view, a bit of nature, and it was really healing for my awareness. I could literally feel the density of the mold from being in my home too long and breaking out of it, from having just like, I'm hearing expanseless, I'm hearing vision, I'm hearing quest, I'm hearing need I say more, I'm hearing right, something went wrong, right? Okay, I'm hearing that's funny. So body, and from mind we have the King of Pentacles reversed. And this really reminds me of what I was just saying. Besides being good for the body, also good for the awareness and good for the mind to really break the mold. Aerial view, I'm hearing, as I think of this card is the card of Saturn, and we also see sky gods are represented in this card as well, in this deck. Saturn, the King of Pentacles, reversed. And so it does make me think of kind of having that bird's eye view and being able to break out of the torture mold, so to speak. Also healing masculine energies comes to mind, even if it just, also the male hemisphere of the brain. But healing masculine energies is coming up for mind as well. I'm hearing analytical thinking machine. So if you're called to go on a road trip, I would absolutely encourage it. Spend some time in nature. We see kind of like I'm hearing aqua hue, as I was going to say green tint, and also purple as well. So a little bit of like teal colored energies here. And it reminds me of the color somewhere between the heart chakra and the throat chakra, right? So it's the heart chakra and also throat of expression. And so that's so that's like the thymus gland, right, which is like the high heart chakra, if you really want to look at the colors mixture there. Also violet, so that's the crown chakra. Again, things that are healing for awareness. Nature can be really be one of those things. So I'm hearing dialogue. And for me, the dialogue, having repetitive dialogue, is something that really shrinks my awareness. I kind of get that you can get tunnel vision, but you can also get trapped under the weight, under the density of the communication. I'm hearing for too long. I'm hearing say please. No mother of ours is here. I'm hearing, I don't know. Moving on. So body, mind, and spirit. What a beautiful card for spirit. This is the card of Phoenix. Transformation. So undergoing, I'm hearing cycles of change, but transformation. So the Phoenix, one who rises from the ashes anew, to be reborn, and rebirth is a major theme for the spirit. Spiritual rebirth, being reborn. We may be stuck in a cycle collectively as well, besides on an individual level. Again, looking at cards for the victims here, but to get caught in a cycle here, cycles of change and transformation that don't fit or don't suit our needs. And so I'm looking back at awareness here and saying some of the things that can support the spirit are the mind and the body. So exercising and making sure that you come up for air if you're spending too much time in isolation, and if you feel so called to even take a flight, or spend time literally in the sky. This could be something that's good for you, breaking out of the mold. And I find with my experience of specifically structures of surveillance, the conditions under which neurotech harassment victims are kind of molded in that space, in these structures of surveillance. This is hard to talk about. And so if you can break out of the mold, all of that weight and density that's kind of been been compact, or become very dense and compact there, can be something you literally want to break out of that mold and kind of like puncture the reality bubble of that space of surveillance. It can be extremely traumatizing. I'm hearing beautiful words speak up. Okay, so let's pull one for the victims for disclosure. And I'm getting the Two of Cups reversed. Binary system. And so we see these two figures who are toasting here. So a lot of us probably have had some experience with disclosures that haven't gone that well. We're trying to get the word out. I'm hearing send the message, and I'm getting a bird, seeing a bird also, and now I'm seeing this card in my mind. Binary system, the Two of Cups, a partnership. Not being able to find a partnership. I'm hearing consensual, non-consensual. So it is a non-consensual communication as well. So it could be in the reversal position because it's a non-consensual. Can you even really call it a partnership? No. I'm I'm sharing a communication that is non-consensual. So that's not a partnership. And it's not a harmonious union. And so we're seeing that depicted in this card for disclosure. So I wish you all luck, really, and I am reiterating again that for anyone who didn't see any previous videos, the United Nations is doing an investigation on cyber torture. This would classify as cyber torture, and so I would recommend that others share their information with the United Nations, whether it be individually or collective. Perhaps even a class action lawsuit in the future, will start to become a vision that's more clear for us collectively, and I'm going to pull a card for that. And I'm getting the Sun card reversed, which is M theory in this deck, for anyone who is familiar with string theory. And so we get the Sun card. Breaking the mold, I'm hearing. Just up? Oh, shut the up. 19, the Sun card. Not a harmonious union. Not a fun communication for me. It is torture. Even though it's dual dialogue, dual point of view dialogue can be very confusing at times. It's something that is, of course, is the point. It's very misleading. It's a communication system that's gaslighting others on our planet. So we see this figure hovering over the planet here in the sun, and it's almost like he's charging his light buddy here. It's almost like he's charging his light buddy. It's kind of a beautiful card. It also reminds me of the solar plexus, which is kind of lit up in this card. And kind of feeling called to just throw out there to the masses, or to even just one single person who watches this, that I feel like collectively going through the solar plexus, doing a lot of chakra work, realignment, and energy work on the solar plexus is something that we all need right now. I feel like it's something that we're going through as a collective cycle of evolution, and it's those growth patterns of evolution that are being altered by these systems. And so we find those high vibrational beings experiencing highs and lows. Sometimes it reminds me of a dolphin, and I love animal spirits kind of breaching in and out of the waters. I'm hearing humpback whale, me baby. So that's a little gross. I'm hearing raunchy, also a signature. I'm hearing the dialogue. And so signing collective contracts, I'm hearing, as I'm thinking about collective lawsuits. It's something that hasn't really gotten off the ground yet. And we see the world here beneath the sun. And as of now, I'm hearing globular postulate. Posture, I'm hearing, is handyman. Dialogue, I'm getting. So 19, the Sun card, and it's also supposed to be a card of youthful energies. So we're seeing a lot of us with the harvest, with these technologies that operate remotely and harvest human energy, and also thought streams. I'm hearing bias, material. I'm hearing. And so we're seeing this figure kind of reversed here, as the world still doesn't know. I'm hearing as the world turns slightly to the right. I'm hearing. I'm getting someone like driving a car. I'm hearing me baby, 2p 2 pi, and so 2 pieces. Okay, and so. A lot of interruptions. We're getting a lot of interruptions here. And so we see almost like it's prismatic here. And perfecting our disclosure, really, is something that needs to be uprighted. There's been a lot of wrong, there's been a lot of injustices, and that's really what I see here, trying to organize a collective case. It's just chaos, absolute chaos. And it's also draining our youth, is something I feel like I should mention. It's a lot of time, a lot of effort. I'm hearing wasted money. And it's crossed with the 5 of Pentacles, which is leptons in this deck. And I keep getting this card almost in every reading, I think. It's that which is concealed behind my back, I'm hearing. You pinch, I'm hearing the feast is over. My pennies, I'm hearing. And we are seeing 5 coins. 5, also the number of conflict in this deck. And their back is turned, I'm hearing, to the truth. So, and that could be it. These people are, it looks like the same figure really here. His back is almost turned to himself there, not really looking in the mirror at his own reflection. But we see that these pentacles are concealed, and also literal money. It does remind me of literal money. Coin, penny pinch, I'm hearing, money, F word, and feast, I'm hearing. The F word. Money, I'm getting again. So that which is concealed and trying to reveal it, I'm hearing the truth, is in her, and I'm getting stream and I'm getting dialogue at the same time. I'm hearing, rewrote it, I'm hearing. And then I'm getting CIA. I'm hearing just kidding, but the kidding is like dropping out to you. And I'm hearing you. Torture, I'm hearing. Here she's something satisfaction satisfies. I'm hearing the bill is disclosed for your money. Not funny. I'm getting somebody like shake their head. So a little bit of hyperactivity. But I want to be clear, as this non-consensual communication, the entire time it's just been spam for me. I mean, like, spam box full. No room left in my inbox. Everything's been jammed up. My communications have been jammed up. My processing of information, my processors have been jammed up. My human supercomputer, everything has just been kind of, I'm hearing on back order, I'm hearing dialogue. Needs to connect, recollect, with her, I'm hearing stream. So, as I am looking over this information, and I'm thinking what still stands is that it's non-consensual. And that's the point I'm making. It's spam to me. It's spy spam. And my inbox has been full. And I was hearing, it was a while ago, was it after I was thinking of spam, messages delete and delete history. So it's not something that I consent to, and it's not something that makes me feel, I'm hearing, powerful. But it is something that's fooling the masses. And it is something that, I mean, these guys have mined so much data. AI has learned so much about human personality types. I'm hearing behaviors, mannerisms. That, I mean, it's really, I'm hearing cool cat. That it's really able to, it's alluring. And the devil is not on my spread here. I'm hearing yet. But, oops. And the 10 of Pentacles is coming out of the deck here. It's a loss, I'm hearing, as I'm thinking maybe loss of money, coin, but also material. I'm hearing wealth, finances. That's the solar system here, and the 10 of Pentacles reversed, and so it's coming to the end of a cycle, upturned, I'm hearing, and it is reversed. And so coming up, also, I'm hearing empty-handed, but it also reminds me of making an investment here. How many of us have invested even just sweat equity into disclosures, into torture, into trying to find remedy and trying to find resolve for this problem, and been unsuccessful with law enforcement, been unsuccessful with legal, and trying to find a lawyer, been unsuccessful with medical practitioners, which, you know, medical science, how far behind and how far ahead you know, this problem is, how advanced it is. It's also a highly predictive system, and they're not just laying tracks for our future of the mind as well, but they're not just predicting the future. They want to manipulate the outcome, and that's what I'm seeing with this autonomous AI, with these predictive technologies that are weaponized on the one hand, and on the other hand, I'm hearing high-fiving us. It's so cool, I'm hearing. It's her day, and then tone of 500. Record is closed or disclosed? I couldn't tell if that was closed or disclosed. So I'm hearing torturous speeds as Daytona 500 has been looping back through, and the repeated theme for this narrative to psychic driving, I'm hearing psychic monitoring, but racing, right? Down the information highway, and heavily competition and warfare fueling this space where these technologies are also used for entertainment, and the combination of all three is a heavy interplay here. It's also, right, what's concealed. Entertainment for sure, but I'm hearing spy dialogue, disclose. And so we're seeing competition, we're seeing warfare, and we're also seeing taking it to the races. And I'm hearing the name of a woman here, and so a fast dialogue, fast interface, right? The faster the communication, the better. Making neural interface systems hyper fast. With predictive communications as well. So that's something that has been equated to racing, that has been equated to cars, that have been equated to driving over and over and over again. This theme keeps coming up. Model body, I'm hearing. Prototype. I'm used as a reverse engineering model. To reverse engineer, I'm hearing dialogue. And so more than just dialogue, though. Also technology and AI to human interface systems. I've been used to reverse engineer for almost 3 years now. Sorry, a little more than 3 years. Let's see. So equating it to Daytona 500 theme here. Also, having literal separation and segregation of the mind. And then what has happened to my body is something that's extremely hard to disclose. But all these parts and pieces and functions of the human forced into labor like gears of a machine, just like a machine that has propelled their work. So it's almost like being in a chop shop, right? Being used for car parts. I'm hearing labor, engine. That also reminds me of belief system engines as well, which is one of the major, I'm hearing, factor points, key figure. Speaker, speak up. Belief system engines. They're collecting belief systems. And I'm seeing a trophy. Trophy wife. And I'm hearing never. Back. Okay, backgammon, I'm hearing. And so they're using people as slaves. This is Nazi torture. and it's being concealed. It's being disguised. It's being disguised and veiled from us. And so the wind, I'm hearing turbine, keeps knocking this Five of Pentacles off of the sun. And so this conflict where it's like constantly where 2 pentacles are shown and 3 are concealed. I'm hearing behind my back again. I'm hearing freeway, speed up, space, free space. And so torture has been like that for me with information overload, and I'm getting the 9 of Pentacles here in reverse. And so that's a lot of, I'm hearing data money and reverse there. Information overload, constant exhaust, constant drain. I'm hearing accelerator. I'm hearing downhill. I'm hearing very nice. I'm hearing dialogue. And so information overload, RAM space is coming up from my memory. Disclose, I'm hearing. And I'm hearing Natalie. So, having the free space is something that has been a huge part of my torture. Not having enough space, not having enough room. I mean, it was like when you get constant information overload and with an AI that's distilling constantly and going through a process of transformation on a biological level. I mean, they literally junk piled my DNA with junk information, junk dialogue, with complex algorithms of defeat that were just hate, shame, blame, guilt, bias, propaganda, phishing algorithms. And I'm getting Princess Andromeda here, the Queen of Cups, come up in reverse, who needs I'm hearing a rescue. But so also, you know, as it was chained to a rock as a sacrifice to the sea god Poseidon. I'm hearing sea nymphs. And Cassiopeia, her mother, was a little bit boastful, boasting to Poseidon that Andromeda was more fair than his sea nymphs, and so angry he was. I think she was to be sacrificed to the sea monster Cetus, right? And so that's her story there, backstory. Water dialogue I'm hearing, and it's in reverse. And it's also spiritual. I'm hearing destiny. I'm hearing card counters. And I'm pulling 2 cards for that, and it's Cassiopeia again, which is weird because the last time that I pulled Andromeda, also in reverse, and I pulled Cassiopeia again, her mother, who was the one that was boastful about her beauty being more beautiful than the sea nymphs. And so Cassiopeia we see coming up here, kind of transcribing in the stars, right? I'm hearing with her dialogue in your foot, mouth, faux pas. And so 14, temperance reversed as well. So kind of, I'm hearing shaking things up, tumultuous waters perhaps. And as I'm hearing sweater weather, as I was also getting a transmission about the dialogue. Fiery, windy, rainy dialogue. Weather, the weather the weather patterns of the chatter, but not always just chatter. I mean, it's hugely tumultuous as well. Things are moving a little bit fast. Things are in motion here, a little bit rocky. But the way that this was for me in the beginning was unbelievably massive. I'm hearing torpedo, I'm thinking hurricane, I'm hearing quantum technology, but also, like, I'm hearing quake, earthquake. It was a hurricane. It wasn't just a hurricane of dialogue. It's a probe that mined the crap out of me for so many different things. It's unbelievably hard to, I'm hearing look back. Torture speak, I'm hearing. Huge storm weather, storms coming. Which is from my past. I mean, really, just huge storms would blow through. I mean, I've had weaponized communications. I'm hearing, but also events. I'm hearing life-changing. I'm hearing forever news, breaking news. I'm hearing some. I'm hearing F up. the dialogue, some F on the dialogue, I don't know. But the weather patterns became like bio-weather patterns with an actual forecast where these storms will blow through that are just larger than my person. Of harvest, cycles of harvest. I'm getting cycles. I'm hearing of dialogue. So, I'm also getting the card of Gemini, which is a card of technology, and that's 6. A lot of major arcana cards here. I'm hearing themed dialogue. And it's the Lover's card in reverse. And so, for me, the Lovers, I also think of this unwanted. I'm seeing somebody tie the knot. And marriage has been a repetitive theme in this dialogue as well, in this AI communication. And so tying the knot here, I'm hearing the Lovers again. And Cupid's kind of shooting an arrow down. Promiscuous, I'm hearing, as I'm thinking of a way to tell the people what sort of things these guys are up to. It's not all good in the hood. It's not all kosher. I'm hearing if you know what I mean. This is a huge danger. I'm hearing to the masses. We need, I'm hearing fight back. To disclose, I'm hearing. I'm hearing with her. And so, anyway, in the last video I mentioned as I pulled up the death card, also the sacral chakra, also Scorpio, that you may want to pay attention to your energetic centers. The sacral chakra is one of those centers. Very seriously, it's about time that we all pay a little bit extra close attention to our bodies and our minds. What's incoming, what's outgoing. You may even be called to build a mental firewall. And I'm getting the 3 of Wands upright as this figure is looking out over the stars. And this is galaxy cluster. So, and it makes me think of magic because it is wands, but it's also something you maybe feel called to do with other people or in collectives, which I think is a good idea. The stronger the shield, right? Practice shielding for your mind and for your body, and all the more magnifying its energy if you can do this as a collective endeavor. And that's really what the Galaxy Cluster card, the 3 of Wands, is all about, is collective intention. So I'm going to leave off there. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you, everyone. Please don't give up if you're on a journey, something like mine, or just really, it can be even just highly individualized, these torture systems. I'm hearing one of its features. And so please hang in there, and you're loved, and I offer you support. I'm hearing helping hand, and be happy, healthy, safe, and I wish you security as well. And good luck to you all. Please get good sleep at night. Remember to keep things in motion. Exercise can help. Breaking out of the mold can help the awareness.